Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin by heading outdoors today. We're going to check in with meteorologist Thomas Patrick. He is outside in some pretty fabulous weather last time I checked. It looks more like summer than fall, but give us the setting right now in terms of temperatures.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably the most perfect day I could probably ever draw up because it'll feel a little like fall in the morning, maybe a little bit like summer in the afternoon, but not too extreme on either end here. And I'm absolutely loving the sunshine that's sitting behind me here. And while the temperature itself says 65, if you're in the sunshine, it feels very, very comfortable. If you're hiding a little bit more in the shade, that's probably when you'll feel maybe a little bit cool. But I'll tell you what, this is about as perfect as it gets. There has not been a single cloud in the sky all day long from my vantage point, nor from our weather satellite's vantage point either. I think you have to travel maybe hundreds of miles away to even get a glimpse at a puffy white cloud in the sky. That's all thanks to this big high pressure area keeping skies clear and calm. The ridge above keeps our conditions more warm than not. So here's the thing, while today is perfect, it does actually inch closer towards the summer side of the scale for the rest of this week and weekend ahead. Mild or really warm for the next several days, not only across most of the country, but definitely here in the inland Northwest. So coming up, I'm going to show you how many days will be in the 80s between now and the end of this month.
Thomas, thank you. We do have a new update in the Pullman shooting that ended with the WSU football player in the hospital. And the suspected shooter, Ja'Cory Buchanan, is on the run. As of right now, though, Ja'Cory's attorney says he does plan to turn himself in. So we are tracking that part of the story. In the meantime, we have video of the fight leading up to the shooting. It was shared by a WSU student. You can see a big crowd at an off-campus party when a fight broke out. Court documents say the two fighting were WSU football redshirt freshman Sonia Falialo and 20-year-old Ja'Cory Buchanan. When police got there, they say Falialo had been shot in the abdomen and Buchanan had left.
It's tragic. It's in absolute contrast to everything that happened at the game.
Court documents say Falialo and two others were acting as security for the party when the fight began. It started, they say, because Buchanan allegedly assaulted a girl at the party. Again, we are tracking that story. We'll have new information coming up this afternoon. Idaho Congressman Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson is co-sponsoring a new bill, and it would make President Trump's executive order banning gender-affirming care for teens permanent. Idaho is not the only state doing this. A Missouri representative introduced a similar bill called the Chloe Cole Act last week. It also prohibits gender-affirming surgeries for minors. Idaho already has a similar law which bans puberty blockers and gender-affirming surgery for people under 18 years old. That passed in 2024, and the U.S. Supreme Court upheld that law later that year. A group of parents, teachers, and the Moscow School District is suing the state of Idaho over its school choice program. Now, they say Idaho's new tax credits violate the state constitution. Idaho's parental choice tax credit is set to take effect coming up in January. It allocates $50 million to private education that can be used for private school, homeschooling, or tutoring outside of the public school system. Some people say this creates a separate education system that lacks accountability and transparency, which they believe could be discriminatory.
The Idaho state constitution obligation for a general, uniform, and thorough and free and common public school system. And that this House Bill 93 does not create that.
All right, not everyone feeling that way, of course. Proponents say they want to help families choose the best educational environment for their children. However, both sides will have to wait. The lawsuit was filed directly with the Idaho Supreme Court, so the court now has to decide whether they will even hear the case. A judge is considering whether to release a 13-year-old accused of planning a mass shooting. Pierce County deputies arrested him 3 weeks ago after they say he posted threatening messages on social media. Those led investigators to his family home, where they say they found dozens of guns, ammunition, AR-style magazines, and several writings about school shootings. Yesterday in court, his mother and defense team asked the judge to release the teen back to his parents and allow him to attend school. The judge will decide in 2 weeks if he will indeed be released. Spokane City Council passing some new ordinances last night on public health and the jail budget. First, the council is expanding a project with Chaz Health to provide medicine to people that are experiencing homelessness. It will run through July of 2027 and cost $1.4 million. They also approved funding for a daytime navigation center and street outreach program to provide temporary housing and support services. Also last night, council moved $2 million from the general fund into the Criminal Justice Assistance Fund. They also introduced a biennial budget to keep up with jail funding. They say the fund is dangerously low and that money from sales tax alone wouldn't cover the monthly expenses this year alone.